What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with your reigning Miss Olympia champion, Linford, going through his last heavy back workout before he flies out to Vegas for this year's Miss Olympia. Now I have to say his back just cannot stop growing, considering that Derek is just 31 years old. And there is that argument that his back is already top 3 greatest backs of all time. So I guess in a few more years, this back will be so undisputed, and his back can also go down as one of the best backs in the bodybuilding history. Now forget about how Derek's back is looking while he is doing that set. Just him walking away from the camera without any shirt. That's just insane amount of thickness right there. And I think Derek is gonna be a lot wider this year, which means he's gonna beat Hadi Choopan not only in the back double biceps, but he can beat Hadi in that back lat spread as well. Because one thing is absolute guaranteed, that his back from the lower half, that for sure is gonna be better than everyone in that first call out. And just looking at Derek's face, that just tells us all the story of how he has suffered so damn hard to bring a different level of conditioning, to bring that next level of conditioning for this year's Miss Olympia, in order to repeat, in order to be a 2 times Olympia champion. So we all know Hani Rambod has a great record with all of his athletes where he almost never misses. Because the thing is, even last year, when Derek and Hadi were a little bit off, they were still way ahead of everyone else. And we all know conditioning with that much size, that is always rewarded. So Derek winning the back shots, that is almost predetermined. Now with how much margin is he gonna win those shots, that is gonna be really crucial. Because if he blows everyone out of the water from the back, that will be a huge jump for him.
Like today, it was like my back, like in the shower, I was like, my gosh. I was like, did I do something to my back? They're like, do I have a rash in my back? But it's not, it's just healed.
So Nick Walker dropping out of this year's Miss Olympia, that has opened the door for multiple guys to move up one spot. One of them is the former Miss Olympia Brandon Carey. Because we all know Carey got beat by Nick the last time they competed against each other. And that was back in 2022. And it is really hard to imagine that Brandon Carey can be any better than his 2022 version. I mean, that was the biggest version of Brandon Carey to step on any bodybuilding stage. So here we got another glimpse of how Brandon's quads were looking leading into this year's Miss Olympia. So according to this session, this was done mid-September. So Brandon was about 3.5 weeks out of the Olympia this year back then. Now it is extremely hard to judge how the final package, especially squats, they're gonna look like on this year's Olympia stage. But we can definitely say one thing. Out of all the guys who are gonna be in the first call out, Hadi, Derek, Samson, Andrew, Hunter, Brandon Carey will not have better quads than all of these names that I just mentioned. But that's the thing, his quads weren't better than Hunter even last year. And yet he still was able to beat him. So this is the first time throughout Brandon's career where we did not see a single physique update throughout the Olympia prep, or even throughout the off-season as well. So this is also a very crucial year for Brandon. Will he maintain a top 5 spot, or will the new guys push him out? Do let me know what you guys think. Next up we have a 6 days out physique update from Italy Pro champion Hunter Labrada. That vacuum on Hunter is coming in so nicely. So is this the best conditioning of Hunter at 6 days out of any show that he has done in the past? Well, I would say yes it is. Look at how grainy and detailed he is looking on the side leg. He's so flat at the moment, and the vascularity is still on a next level. So this certainly is better than his Temper Pro look from last year. But according to Hunter, he is roughly 10 pounds heavier. So there is always a little exaggeration in terms of the weight. But in Hunter's case, we saw in Italy that he legit put quite a lot of size, and that too in all the right areas. His quads were significantly bigger. His back was looking much more thicker and denser. He had bigger arms. He had rounder delts. So we wanna see Hunter going through this peak week. And hopefully Ben Chow, his coach, is gonna bring him in a very good combination of fullness as well as conditioning. And he is gonna be in that same conditioning that we saw at Temper Pro last year with all the other size. And that is gonna be really fun to watch. Now that being said, I have to say he doesn't look as good on the stage as he does a few weeks out of any show that he has done. So maybe the curse will be broken for this year's Miss Olympia. Now for guys like Martin and Rafael Brandao to beat him, Hunter needs to miss his mark. Because there is just too much size, too much thickness and too much muscle density. And that is where Hunter is gonna expose a lot of these guys. So Hunter has already surpassed his Italy Pro peak week look, and that too by quite some margin, especially based on this update. So hopefully he will look this good on the stage as well. To anyone who says stop saying that the 212 is gonna be a two-man show once again between Keone Pearson and Kon Pearson, well, look at this recent update from Keone Pearson and tell me who is gonna beat that. And do not be surprised if Kon Pearson wins his second 212 Olympia title, and that too with perfect scores, because he is inside out shredded already, and he is gonna be at least 3 to 5 pounds up compared to last year's Miss Olympia. So the last update of Keone Pearson hitting the front double biceps, that was posted by Patrick when he was about 5 weeks out. And when a guy who is a short bodybuilder, like they're all in the 212, he says that he is gonna be 5 pounds heavier, I have to say that is a whole lot of muscle. And with the kind of frame Keone has, with the kind of structure that he has, he is gonna look absolutely nuts. Now the first thing that comes to mind is that his waistline and his stomach should not get affected. Because the thing is, Kon Pearson, he lost the Olympia title last year because he had a distended midsection. Now with Keone, based on that 5 weeks out update, that front double biceps, the only thing I see is that his proportions are gonna be even more cartoonish, and he's gonna have one of the best X frame across all the bodybuilding divisions at this year's Miss Olympia. And honestly, I have to say I feel really bad for all of his competition, because these godly genetics combined with great work ethic, that is just a very deadly combination. And that is why he looks so unbelievable. Another skullface coming in. I guess the 90s bodybuilding fans, they will be thrilled to see this. So here we have our Chicago Pro champion, Moh Foda, trying to bring a better look, better overall conditioning than he did at either Chicago Pro or Tampa Pro. So Foda's death face is also coming in real hard. And he also got an in-person check-in from his coach, Stefan. So like I said earlier, with Nick Walker dropping out, this is a good opportunity for a lot of these guys to move up one spot. And Foda was already pretty confident that he's gonna make top 10 at his Olympia debut. Now realistically speaking, it will be really delusional to expect that Foda is gonna show up with a better back than what we saw in the 2 shows that he did just a few months back. There wasn't enough time to make some noticeable improvements, especially in an area which is genetically a lagging body part. For him to bring up a weak body part, he needs a proper offseason. But that being said, he is gonna be super competitive in all of the front shots, like the front double biceps, the front lat spread, and the most muscular as well. So these guys like Martin and Foda, they are so close that whoever nails it at this show, he's gonna place higher. Interestingly, both of them are being coached by same person, Stefan. So that's it from this video. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.